Marcia! We agreed you wouldn't lock this door.
Sorry, I forgot.
What's this?
It's a supplement. It's supposed to be very good for the liver.
£8.50?
But it lasts a long time.
Yeah, but it's going to have to. We're supposed to be economising.
Well, perhaps we can start by cutting down on our phone bill all the time you spend surfing on the web.
I need my computer and I need the internet. You wouldn't understand. Look, we can make this work providing we do it together. Just a little longer.
And what does that mean? A week, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, what?
Well, what are you on about?
Oh, never mind, nothing. I'm going upstairs.
Well, are you going out later? Well, if you're going to the shops, I'll need a few things. Marcia, we're in this together.
Well, that's healing up nicely. I probably won't need to do it again.
Are you sure? I thought it was going a funny colour.
No, it's just a bit of bruising.
Well, I just don't want to take any chances, you know.
I think we can risk it.
Your tea, I'll just put it there.
Oh, great, thanks. So, how are you two coping?
Well, Marcia's great. She looks after me really well.
It's difficult.
Oh, I can imagine so. No news, I suppose?
No, I'm not really expecting any. Not good news, anyway.
Well, don't say that.
Well, we'll see.
Is it 6 months now?
7. 7 months and 2 weeks.
You have one message. Message 1.
Mrs. Graham, it's Ronnie Woodson. I wonder if you could give me a call or pop in sometime as soon as you can. I've got the papers back from the court and it's good news.
You be careful now, and I hope you get some good news about your brother soon.
I'm doing my best to hold things together, but it's very difficult. I'm beginning to realise why he ran away. A useless wife who spent his money as fast as he earned it, a house he couldn't really afford, and, well, of course I couldn't really help, could I? I mean, I did what I could, but in the end she just wore him down. Poor old Nigel.
Hello. Yes, I appreciate you're very busy, but I need to talk to the cardiologist. Yes, I received his message, but I'm concerned that Doris Jenkins was sent home without a proper diagnosis. Now, I understand, but I've been trying to get her into hospital for months, and I really think... Well, when he does have a free moment, perhaps you could just ask him to call Dr. Kendrick. Thank you. Goodbye.
Come in.
Thank you. Mrs. Graham, thanks for coming in.
Not at all. It's nice to see you again.
Sit down, make yourself comfortable.
You said you had good news.
Yes, the courts have agreed to our argument. Given the circumstances of your husband's disappearance and where the car was found and your own limited resources, they've agreed to let you sell the house.
Thank goodness.
Of course, in case your husband is still alive, they have to protect his interests.
So, what does protecting his interests actually mean?
Okay. Half of the proceeds from the sale of the house will have to be held in a trust for him, after the costs and repayment of the mortgage balance, of course.
What happens to that and the rest of the money if he doesn't come back?
Well, after 7 years, you can apply for what we call a presumption of death. And then, given that he didn't make a will, the money would become yours.
I see.
Now, have you discussed any of this with your brother-in-law?
No, I didn't really want to. He doesn't have any legal claim on anything, does he?
No, but he has been your tenant.
Tenants pay rent, Mr. Woodson. He's never paid us a penny.
I see.
I'll tell him as soon as I get home. Everyone needs to know exactly where they stand.
What's all this?
Just some food.
We're supposed to be economising.
I thought I'd cook you a nice lunch. I've got some pork chops.
Oh, okay. Maybe just this once. There's no point in starving ourselves, is there?
And we can have a talk.
Dr. Kendrick. Yes. What? No, that's not possible. I mean, a heart attack. I see. I take it you've informed the next of kin. Right, well, I'd like to speak to the SHO, please. No, I want someone in charge. No, you listen! One of my patients has died because of your incompetence. I sent her to A&E yesterday, you sent her home. Now, someone is clearly at fault. I don't care about that. Just get him to call me. Thank you.
I think it's great that George is coming back. But like you just said, working half the hours doesn't necessarily mean half the work. The surgery's usually pretty full on. That's true. Now, she's determined to come back next week for her brains to turn to custard. Her words, not mine. Well, here's to her. No, here's to all of you. Thank you. My turn. Excuse me. Hello. Yes? Mr. Graham, the gentleman in the wheelchair. You sure?
Wow. That was great, thank you.
My pleasure.
I've made some notes.
About what?
Well, like you say, we have to start planning for the future. And since Nigel's left, we've both been in, like, well, limbo, haven't we? So now we should make some definite plans.
That sounds sensible.
Yeah. Since Nigel left, well, I think we've coped really well, don't you?
Well, I suppose.
I mean, if we can make some adjustments, you know, here and there, and cut back in a few places, well, there's no reason why things shouldn't work out really well.
And that's what you call moving forward, is it?
Well, Marcia, we have to be realistic about what we
I've
can...
got permission to sell the house.
What?
I went to see the lawyer today, Mr. Woodson. The court has said I can sell the house.
You want to get rid of me?
I want us to move on. I am not responsible for you.
And now you just want to throw me out into the street?
Of course not. It'll take us a long time to sell this house. You'll have plenty of time to find somewhere else. Tim, I understood why your brother wanted to take care of you. But that was his responsibility, not mine. And now that he's gone, there's no reason for us to be together. It's just circumstances.
Circumstances?
I'm sorry, but this is what I want. It's best for both of us.
Best for you, maybe, but don't you tell me what is best for me. Just look after number one, that's what you do best.
Mac, it's Peter.
Is everything all right?
It's Doris Jenkins. They took her back into hospital this morning. She died of a heart attack.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
I got her into A&E. The next thing I know, she's back home. I said it was nothing more serious than heartburn. I knew it was more serious, Mac. I told the paramedics. I tried to speak to the cardiologist myself. I did try.
Peter, listen. You can't blame yourself for this. It was not your fault, and no one is blaming you. These things happen.
No, Mac, this was a case of sheer incompetence. Doris had angina. The connection should have been obvious. Would you have sent her home?
Look, this kind of thing, it goes with the territory. We all have to do our best for our patients, and that's all we can do. Our best.
No, Mac. I failed her too.
Peter? Peter, do you want me to come over?
No, Mac, thanks. I need to think about a few things.
Nigel Graham.
I really should apologise for all the trouble I've caused you.
I take it you haven't come here for your holiday, chaps? I'm guessing Colette has spoken to you.
She asked me to apologise.
Okay.
I'm sorry about the other day. I just thought you might open your mouth.
You still think I'm going to say something to your dad?
Are you?
I couldn't, even if I wanted to.
What, not even now that you two are...
It doesn't make any difference. Anyway, it's not me who should be having this conversation with you.
I know. You don't need to lecture me. We thought it'd be okay. And Kerry told me it was a safe time.
Unprotected sex isn't just about getting pregnant. There are lots of STIs out there, including HIV.
Yeah, you told me all this. I'm not stupid.
Really? Have you thought about if Kerry had got pregnant? If she'd had that baby, how would that affect the rest of your life?
Yeah, but she's not pregnant, is she? Anyway, I didn't come here for health and social advice.
No. You came here to apologise. And I accept your apology.
I need to talk to you about Dad.
Lex, I've got patients waiting.
Are you too serious?
How do you expect me to answer that? I've only just met your dad.
Come on, you must have some idea.
It's none of your business. Look, you don't have to worry about me muscling in on your family. I just want to spend some time with your dad. I won't interfere in your life, and you needn't interfere in mine. Agreed?
It's just that if you are serious, don't ask my dad to choose. Because me and Colette, we're all he has left. So if it came down to it, if you had to choose, there would be no contest.
Hello? Yes. Oh, Mr. Woodson. What? Are you sure?
They're both well.
Well, I saw Marcia earlier. She seemed well.
That's good. I'm glad.
I'm sure they'll both be delighted to see you.
I've surprised myself these last few months. It's been the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I've done things I've never thought I would. I've slept in gutters, slept in fields. I even lived in a squat for a few weeks.
You must have had a tough time.
It's the best thing I've ever done.
Sorry?
Running off, living rough, scraping a living, it's the best thing I've ever done. It's a sad reflection on the rest of my life, I suppose, but yeah, I don't regret it.
I'm sure you had your reasons.
Yeah. Though reason's a bit overrated, if you ask me. It's very handy for justifying what we've done or what we'd like to do, but in the end, we're really just quite impulsive creatures, aren't we?
And you wanted to disappear.
Oh. I wanted to die. I even got as far as jumping in a river. I climbed out half an hour later, very wet, very cold, very miserable. And I realised I wanted to live. I just wanted to live a different life.
Go away!
Tim, it's Nigel.
What?
He's alive. He's come back.
Ever since I was 15, I've lived under this shadow. I was the older brother. I've been told not to let him ride on the back of my bike, particularly on roads. But we were just boys, weren't we? When did teenage boys ever follow sensible advice?
And that's when Tim had his accident.
Ever since that day, I've known I could never escape it. I tried to make up for it. I always took care of Tim after that. But my parents never looked at me the same way. I tried, Mr. Woodson. I really tried. But when you've put someone in a wheelchair for the rest of their life, how do you make amends for that?
What about your wife?
I was lonely. So was she. I suppose we were good friends by the end, but well, just before I walked out, we talked about getting divorced. I didn't mind the idea of her leaving me. But what I did mind was it was just going to be me and Tim. You see, while she was there, at least there was someone else to talk to. Someone else who could make you realise that your life wasn't just about one thing. And that's what I couldn't face. And that's why I ran away. And that's why I'm afraid I've got one more request to make of you, Mr. Woodson.
Mr. Graham.
Where's Nigel?
He decided not to come with me.
What's he playing at now?
Your brother came back because he wanted to try and help sort things out. He realised that things must be getting very difficult financially, with most of the investments being in his name and the house being jointly owned. He wanted to try and help clear things up.
You know, then what he should do is come back here and do it himself. Not send you as his errand boy.
Sit down.
Thank you.
How is he?
He seems pretty well.
Does he seem happy?
I really couldn't say.
I hope so. He was never really happy before.
Yeah, well, that's because you had always honoured him. Do this, do that. He never got a moment's peace.
Oh, shut up, Tim. Aren't you glad he's alive, at least?
Well, of course I am. This is all working out pretty well for you, isn't it? You get half the house, you get half the cash. I end up in the street with nothing.
Actually, that's not true. Your brother wanted you to have the proceeds from his half of the house sale, which should be quite a substantial sum.
Well, he can't just buy me off.
Nigel doesn't want anything.
£20,000 from his savings, if you agree, but that's all.
But he doesn't want to see me, either of us.
He thinks that'd be difficult. He just wants to move on. But he did give me these for you both.
If you'll just excuse me.
Of course.
Tell Nigel I'll meet him on my own.
He really doesn't want to do that.
No, but obviously he doesn't want to see her. I mean, she always manipulated him. She had him wrapped round her little finger for 15 years, but I want to see him. But he's my brother. Please, just ask him. Just for a few minutes.
I can ask.
Thank you.
I'll go and call him now.
Marcia, we can't let Nigel do this.
It's his life.
No, it's all our lives. He's your husband.
Yes. We talked about getting a divorce. He was a nice enough man, and God knows he'd do anything for you. But we didn't love each other. Perhaps we never did. We were just scared of being on our own. But I'm not scared now. All this, it's made me realise that I can cope.
You never told me you were getting a divorce.
I think there's a lot of things about your brother you don't know.
I love you two too.
Look, I don't care where you've been, what you've done, nothing. I just want things back the way they were.
I can't do it.
Yes, you can. So you're just going to walk away?
I have to.
You're just going to abandon me?
I don't want to abandon you, Tim. But what we had before, it wasn't good for either of us.
Yes, it was.
No. You can do so much more with your life, but you never did. Because everyone was doing everything for you.
You're just going to walk away?
We were both trapped before, can't you see that? This is a chance for both of us. You can do this.
What if I can't? I don't have anything!
You'll have some money. When Marcia sells the house, you'll have quite a lot of money. People will help you.
So I'm not going to see you again then?
Not for a long time. Wish us both luck, Tim. With you, son.
Yeah, well, go on then, go! Run away! I don't care! Nigel, come back, please! Nigel, come back! Did he tell you about my accident?
Yes, you did. I'm sorry.
Nearly 20 years I've been in a wheelchair. It's more than half my life.
That must be difficult.
It was a day like today, actually, you know, when it happened. He didn't want me to go on the back of his bike because he knew that if my mum and dad caught us, he'd be for it. But I made him do it. Even then, I could usually get him to do what I wanted. I had this stick. It was a good stick. Better than this. This was just the right length, nice and straight. It made a great sound when you swished it through the air. So, I'm on the back of his bike, holding onto my stick. And then I looked down at the wheels, and I had this crazy what-if moment. You know, the way kids often get. Something that you know is a really, really bad idea. But you just have to try it. Of course, they all blamed him for it. No. I wasn't going to say anything, was I?
You made him crash the bike? We have to tell him. He's carried this guilt with him for such a long time.
He promised me the day after the accident that he would always look after me. always. Where is he now, eh? Hmm? He's just walked away. Feels guilty, does he? Good.
Still look troubled. Oh. I just thought you might be worried about being with an old geezer like me. And 2 teenage kids.
I'm not worried about the age gap. Besides, you're a pretty cool guy.
Pretty cool.
Anyway, that's not what's been worrying me.
So something is worrying you?
No, I'm fine.
Faith? You need to talk to me, man. Or I can't solve the problem. I want to be with you, and I don't want anything to get in the way of that.
I know.
So, is there a problem?
Yes, there is. You need to stop fretting about me. And I'll have the same again, please.
We could win another medal at the Winter Olympics today. Kristen Bromley goes for gold in the final of the men's skeleton. He's the boyfriend of Shelley Rodman, who won silver in the women's event, and it's live from 5:30 on BBC 2. But next here on BBC 1, Murder, She Wrote.